Police say they were called to the school on February 19, where they found more than 400 recorded videos.
Sí están invadiendo invadieron su privacidad. Ellas con toda la confianza del mundo entran, se cambian y andan caminando como si nada en paños menores, o a veces unas niñas hasta toman baños ahí.
In a statement, the school says they were trying to protect the integrity of the investigation and notified parents after charges went through this week.
Students at Cristo Rey High School stage a walkout. They are angry about how the school's now former chief of security was hired.
All we care about is our kids.
Rachel Tepesh, a senior at Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, is showing me videos of what she calls a tense board meeting at her school.
And seeing like a lot of my classmates crying was like, this is really happening. This is happening at my school.
The meeting was held to hear concerns following the discovery that fired staff member Fernando Bustos placed secret cameras in the girls' locker room.
I'm crying about this topic because you guys aren't doing anything.
Why did you and your classmates feel the need to show up at this board meeting today?
So then the board could feel pressure to give us answers.
Answers about why they were not told about Bustos' actions sooner and how he got hired in the first place. Do you think you got answers today?
No.
It's why Rachel and dozens of her classmates decided to walk out of school Friday. The school then sending an email dismissing students early to allow the community time to heal.
The well-being of our students is our number one priority.
The high school's president, Andrew Stith, tells me the school provided notice to parents as soon as they were able to.
With the police involved and the police activities that were taking place, we tried to find out as much information as we could.
Stith says standard background and reference checks were completed for Bustos, which raised no red flags, despite Bustos resigning from his last job at Greenfield Police after stealing evidence and lying about it. The actions landed the 41-year-old on the state's flagged officer list. Did that not show up in the background check?
It did not.
And there was no call to the Greenfield Police Department?
We had dates of employment.
So there was no actual conversation with the police
We
department?
did do reference checks.
With the police department?
We did do reference checks, and we did the background check.
The school is bringing in a third party to review their hiring procedures and says they will continue providing counselors to support their students.
Last week, a 41-year-old former security coordinator was charged with invasion of privacy. Police say he used a surveillance device to record some girls as they undressed inside the girls' locker room. CBS 58's Catherine Merck spoke with those who believe they were on camera about the school's response.
Families feel like they are in despair, like they want to get help.
At the Voces de la Frontera building on West Historic Mitchell, students and parents came together to talk about something that they called horrific at their religious school.
I'm feeling very awful because of what happened.
41-year-old Fernando Bustos is charged with invasion of privacy using a surveillance device. According to the criminal complaint, detectives discovered nearly 349 videos from cameras that were discreetly placed over the course of a year inside the high school girls' locker room.
I would always change the girls' locker room when I had basketball.
According to a statement put out by the school last week, Bustos was fired back in early February for performance reasons. It wasn't until mid-February they discovered a motion-activated camera and stored video files of students in his former office.
The school could have been here, let us know about 2-3 weeks ago when it first happened, so that we could have at least been on the lookout and, you know what I'm saying, had our children's best interests.
These families say they heard about what happened on social media after Bustos was charged. nearly 2 weeks after the school called police.
They could have told the parents before, and before the news reporters knew about it. I can see that they're trying to fix things, but it's not going to fix the trust that they broke.
That's not right. That don't sit right with me at all.
Voces de la Frontera did not allow reporters inside of the meeting. They wanted to give families privacy. As they continue class, these students at the religious school say they're guided by their faith to come together after this scary situation.
We pray for ourselves, for us to come with closure.
If Bustos is convicted, he could face 3.5 years in prison and could get a $10,000 fine.
Bustos is a Greenfield police officer before he was hired at Cristo Rey. He resigned from that department after an internal investigation. That investigation landed Bustos on the Brady list. It is a list of law enforcement with integrity issued, maintained by Milwaukee County's DA. Lighthouse reporter Ben Jordan now with a new example of why the Brady list is so important.
Police records show former officer Fernando Bustos resigned from the Greenfield Police Department about 4 years ago. The chief tells me it came just weeks after he lied about stealing evidence. A Cristo Rey High School spokesperson tells me that information didn't come up during their background check. Some attorneys tell me they think this case highlights the importance of making Brady lists public, in part so potential future employers can see if former officers they're considering for a job have a history of alleged crimes, dishonesty, bias, or other integrity concerns.
Let's go back to the internal violation that landed Bustos on the Brady list. Back in late 2020, former Greenfield officer Bustos was called to Paul's Wine and Liquor to investigate identity theft after police say suspects purchased $600 worth of alcohol on stolen credit cards. Greenfield police documents show the suspects were arrested and numerous bottles of illegally purchased alcohol, cartons of cigarettes, and fraudulent credit cards were seized from the suspect's vehicle by Officer Bustos. During an inventory of evidence, documents show detectives could not locate 2 bottles of tequila valued at $120 each. The internal investigation says Bustos' body camera footage showed the 2 bottles were at the scene, but they were missing after Bustos unloaded the evidence back at the station. Documents show Officer Bustos insisted all of the alcohol was inventoried. The captain handling the internal investigation determined Bustos' statement was fabricated and deceitful. That captain went on to say, "I also believe there is substantial proof that would validate criminal charges for theft and misconduct." Bustos was never charged. Instead, he resigned before the internal investigation was over. He was placed on Milwaukee County's Brady list, meaning the untruthfulness violation would have to be turned over to defense attorneys if he were called to testify in court. He was also put on the Wisconsin Department of Justice's flagged officer list, which tracks problematic officers. That brings us back to Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, where Bustos was hired as a security coordinator after his time with the Greenfield Police Department. This week, he was charged after prosecutors say he installed a hidden camera inside the girls' locker room, according to court documents. The school says Bustos was fired last month during the investigation.